Tell you my arsenic story.
No.
I got my blood work done. I get my blood work done pretty regularly, and I went once a few years back, quite a few years back, 15 years ago at least. And my doctor said, you have a lot of arsenic in your blood. And I go, like, someone's poisoning me? He's like, no. Do you eat a lot of fish?
Oh, really?
And I said, I eat a lot of sardines. He goes, how much? I go, 4 or 5 cans a night. And he was like, what? He's like, what the fuck are you doing? I go, what
are you doing?
Well, I love sardines. And if I come home from the comedy club and I'm hungry, it's easy to have like what I thought was like healthy food. It's just sardines and olive oil. What could be bad about that?
You. Yeah.
And so he said, take a few months off and then come back and let's do this again. And I took a few months off and I came back, no arsenic.
Yep.
I was like, oh man. He goes, it's not enough to be concerned, but you're getting arsenic in your blood from these sardines.
Yeah. I work with a guy, Seth, and he kind of had this perfect storm where we had been in Hawaii, so we had wahoo and yellowfin tuna, and he fishes in Alaska, so he had all his halibut. And then he's got a bunch of walleye that he catches. He's a big walleye fisherman that he catches locally. And he wound up had like there's like kind of like a long-term mercury deal and a short-term mercury deal. But he had mercury poisoning. His hands went numb and stuff.
Oh yeah.
And then I got to reading about it, and there's like various cases where there's this other case that's kind of interesting. This guy gets on a cruise ship, never doesn't eat fish. This guy doesn't have fish in his diet. It was a thing that was covered in the news. And he gets on the cruise, and they have an all-you-can-eat sushi thing. So he wants to get his money's worth. And so he's gorging himself on this all-you-can-eat sushi during the course of his cruise and generates mercury poisoning. Like a short-term version, And dudes I hang out with in Hawaii that have access to a lot of big piscivorous fish, they'll sort of like deliberately pace themselves. Like they could live off tuna, right? But they'll deliberately pace themselves, keeping in mind the amount of that stuff you're getting in. And RFK Jr., I had RFK Jr. on the show, on our podcast, and he had mercury poisoning.
Really? From what?
Canned tuna. Was eating too much canned tuna.
Wow.
Yeah. So maybe I've had it. I don't know. I would.